Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I'm here to talk about an anime manga combo again. Because the anime is left unfinished and it's so unsatisfying, so you have to end up going to read the manga. But luckily the manga is finished and it's really good how it ends, so I'm going to be talking about it all today. And the show in question is Kamisama Kiss, or Kamisama Hajimemashita, which is the Japanese name of it, which is like welcome to godhood, whereas in this it's called Kamisama Kiss. And the translation works for it because of like the events of it. But yeah, so basically in Kamisama, I'll just call it Kamisama for now, you have Nanami, who is a girl who's down on her luck. Her dad's run off, leaving her with a pile of debt, so she's lost her home and she's living in a park. And then she meets this god. I can't remember his name because he's not really in it much. But I'll put his name under his picture anyway. And he gives her a kiss on the forehead, hence Kamisama Kiss, which bestows on her his godly powers, and he gives her his home, which is his shrine. And she goes, and then she meets like the guardian spirits of the shrine, these guys, and then she also meets the familiar of the shrine, Tomoe. So yeah, and that's basically how the story starts. Now Tomoe, Mikage, that's the name of the god. So Tomoe is Mikage's familiar, and he is absolutely like furious. That's the nice word. He's furious that Mikage at this point he's been gone for 20 years. And he's furious that he hasn't returned, but instead he's sent him this weak, pathetic little teenage girl to take over the shrine and his responsibilities. And he refuses to accept Nanami as his new master. And yeah, he really is not happy. So he ends up like running off to like the spirit realm. And you end up finding out that he's like a yokai who's became a familiar instead of being like a familiar from the get-go. And that causes some issues as well with other familiars. But yeah, so Nanami has to like run after him, and she's like, what is wrong with you? You actually have a home to return to and you're willing to leave it and just abandon it? I'd never do that, because, you know, for her having a home is a big thing. And they end up getting into a fight and a spat, and then someone realises she's human and tries to eat her in the yokai realm, and he has to save her. And then it ends with her giving him a kiss to force him to become her own familiar. And that's how the story starts. And then slowly they start falling in love, although Tomoe refuses to fall in love with a human and does cause issues, which breaks Nanami's heart. She's only like 16, so, you know, teenage girl and hormones. You've then got Mizuki, who comes into it, who ends up becoming another familiar in the shrine, because his god has passed on and there was no one to take his place, or this particular god's place. So poor Mizuki's just been sat there all alone, and he was desperate for a friend. You also get the Tengu, what's his name? He pretends to be a fallen angel idol, but he's actually a Tengu. Oh, what's his name? I like him. Oh, what's his name? Kurama, that's his name. So yeah, you have Kurama, who's the fallen angel idol who wants to eat Nanami's heart to take her godhood so that he'll get more powers. So that basically becomes the thing, because she's a human who was bestowed with god powers and she's not naturally a god. All of these yokai keep coming and trying to kill her and eat her so that they can gain her powers, but like usually they get thwarted by Tomoe, and it's quite funny how she thwarts them as well. You've also got her trying to like fulfill her godly duties as well. So Himemiko comes into it, and she wants help with a love pairing, which is apparently what Mikage used to do. So Nanami ends up helping her get with her little crush guy, and I forget his name. He's a background character really, but that then plays out later on in the manga about their love story, which is really cute. You also have her friends, Ame, and there's another friend, and I forget the other friend's name, but I know Ame because she plays into it. And you have their storylines. You've then got Akira-o, who comes in season 2, who has a connection to Tomoe. You also find out more about like Nanami's backstory and her ancestry that led to her current her current self being born. And you also find out why Tomoe is as broken as he is, because he once upon a time fell in love with a human and then betrayed his friend Akira-o and ended up getting him captured and put in hell, basically, while Tomoe got to go and live his life and become a familiar and kind of forget. There's a load of complexities to it. Now, they do leave out parts of the manga from the anime. So there's a particular scene where there's like this giant spider that's in the school library, and with that there was a competition between Nanami and another girl over who should be a god, and this is for like season 2, and like the hatching of her little familiar Mamoru, and there's like a competition between her and the girl, and Nanami gets her little Mamoru, but then the giant spider thing is actually hatched from the other girl's egg, and it's not just kind of there. And then Nanami has to help save this girl's life and prove that she is worthy of her godhood. And I think that's a really nice part of the manga that they left out of the anime, and it just shows even more what a nice person Nanami is and what a wholesome person she is. So yeah, that for me was a bit... But then like I watched... There was 2 seasons of Kamisama Kiss in anime form. And then they made an OVA series, and I can't remember if the OVA series wraps everything up and finishes the end half of the story. But I do know, because I haven't seen the OVA series, I haven't been able to get my hands on them. I only have the 2 seasons that have been dubbed. So, yeah. It's fully finished, so like the manga is done, complete, finito. You get a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's a really satisfying end, actually. I really, really like it. Everyone gets their happy ending, and, you know, it's your typical rom-com, really. You know, you've got the comedy, obviously, you've got the romance aspect of it, you've got the drama that kind of keeps the main characters away from each other, you've got Nanami's like stubbornness and her drive to do better and not fall into the trap that her father left her behind in. You know, she wants to take care of the shrine, she wants to do good as a god, she wants to be a good master to the guardian spirits. Okay, my roommate is being hella loud and noisy tonight. Where was I? Oh yeah, you've got the fact that she loves Tomoe and she desperately wants him to love her back because they fall in love over time. You've also got her friendships with her human friends. You've got her friendships with her yokai friends and her supernatural friends. And it's interesting to see as well, because she's one of these heroines that will still go out of her way to save the bad guy, because she ends up meeting Akira-o while he's in like the body of his human form, or like his soul is in this human body that he managed to possess, and he's desperately trying to take out Nanami and get her power because he wants to teach Tomoe a lesson for betraying him. And then Nanami ends up becoming acquainted with him and starts to be like, oh, there's something wrong with you, I need to save you. And she does. She ends up going into hell with him, and they kind of bond a bit, and then she gets recovered and everything. But it's really nice to see like a main character, especially in anime, like while she does need saving occasionally, she is still super feisty, she's super kick-ass, she does what she can within the limits of her abilities, and it's just overall, it's a really sweet show. It gives me all of the warm fuzzy feelings inside. I love all of the characters. I mean, I have a serious crush on Tomoe. He's best boy. I actually met his voice actor a couple of years ago. J. Michael Tatum is the English voice actor. I'm not sure who does the Japanese voice. I'll have to put that below. Oh, he's lovely. He's a sweetheart. And it was really nice to meet him, and he signed a picture of Tomoe for me. So the English voice cast I absolutely adore. I think I've seen a bit of it in Japanese, but not much. But I really like the English voice cast. It's full of characters. Like, all of the characters are voiced by voice actors that I absolutely adore, so I was really, really happy about that. The Japanese, from what I saw, is really, really good. The voice cast suits. There's nothing, there's no character that you'd be like, oh, that doesn't sound right, kind of thing. It all, it's really nice. Yeah, it's a great little show. Definitely go give it a go. You can watch the anime in like 2 days or a day if you binge watch it and you've got the free time. The manga's not hard to get hold of, and it's very easy to read. And again, it's not overly long. I'm not sure how many volumes it was in the end, but I'll put that up at the end, because I've read it, but I don't have all the volumes. So I've got like 6 volumes, and I'm slowly collecting them as I go through. When I see them on offer, I pick them up. Because like with long running shows, they can get quite expensive to be buying a volume every time it comes out. So I try to wait until there's like a 3 for 2 offer somewhere, or I can get a loot crate of it, like the collector's edition box set kind of thing. That's what I usually try to wait on. But yeah, no, highly recommend Kamisama Kiss. It's one that you could watch with anyone, really. It's good for kids, I'd say, but 10 and over. I definitely would say 10 and over. You can watch it if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner who's into romance shows with you. You can just watch it by yourself if you want a feel-good show that will make you laugh and cry and feel things. So yeah, do go give it a go, and let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you've already seen it. I love to hear opinions back. My favourite character, of course, is Nanami. But actually, no, I lie. My favourite character is Otohiko. He is just so flamboyant, and I love him, and he is wonderful. I love him. I wish to channel more of my Otohiko in the future. So yeah, other than that, my kittens, I'm going to give you all of my love, remind you to eat something, drink something, and don't forget any of your tablets. Take care of yourselves, my lovelies, and I will see you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen!